Hey everyone. Well, this week we are releasing, three things in this video. First of all, this week we are releasing quartz crystal clusters that we bought earlier this year in Tucson. We just haven't had time to work on them until now, so we are releasing those. And also part 2 of my series on polarity shifts. But I thought I'd start with something that I learned on my healing journey this past week that might be helpful to you. Actually, these past 2 weeks, I've been dealing with symptoms that are very much like chronic fatigue. And it happens to me about once or twice a year. And of course, diamond and gemstone therapy sessions always help. There is an evaluation technique that I teach to the level 2 diamond therapy students called the manifested matrix evaluation technique. I use it myself actually in all the sessions that I give because it helps me to understand what's going on with my client, helps me understand what they're experiencing, and it allows me to steer the session so I can serve them best. So what I saw in the manifested matrix evaluation that one practitioner did for me, when I saw it, it felt as though my reality completely shifted because it showed me very clearly that I was approaching my life from force of will rather than from my heart. And it was true. I'd begun writing because I needed to meet deadlines. And it had become draining and likely one of the reasons I had lost my energy. Also, as a result of this particular session, I realized I should feel gratitude for my situation. Now, during my heart failure in 2004, a long time ago, and then my heart transplant the following year, I had learned to feel gratitude for all the parts of my body. I learned to feel gratitude for pain, but it never occurred to me to feel gratitude for what I didn't have. So I started thinking of all the ways I was grateful for not having any energy. I started thanking life for putting me in this situation. I thought of the benefits. Well, there were a lot of non-benefits, but I thought of the benefits. It was giving me a chance to rest. It was giving me a chance to reset my energies and to learn lessons like this very one. So thankfully, I am beginning to feel better. I am still working from home. This is the studio that my husband built for me in our home. If you've been following me, you may have already guessed that. This week, I'm also sharing part 2 of my series on polarity, which I'll get to in a minute. But yeah, think about that. Think about the idea of being grateful for what you don't have, even if it's something that you really want to have. And in my case, it was feeling grateful for having really low energy. Okay. I also wanted to announce that we're releasing a collection of quartz crystal clusters. They're on the small to medium small size. We found them at the Tucson Gem Show earlier this year. And one of the reasons I was attracted to them was that they were a great deal. But the other reason was that they were found next door to a diamond mine. Now, I thought that was rather special, although I can't say that these crystals have any unique or special properties because of that, but you might want to check them out. At the Gemstone Therapy Institute, we teach people how to use quartz crystal clusters to uplift the energy of rooms. We also place gemstone sphere necklaces and bracelets on them because they radiate the healing energies of the gemstones throughout the room. So, for example, let me just grab one here. I've got 3 of them behind me in the studio. So here's a crystal cluster right here. You can see that. So what we would do is, let me just show you. Grab a necklace here. Oh, here's amethyst. Everyone loves amethyst. We would just place the amethyst necklace or bracelet on the quartz cluster And the unique thing about quartz and the clusters is that the points of the quartz radiate the amethyst energy throughout the room or throughout the space. So this is a really wonderful, unique ability of quartz crystal clusters. And we look especially for those that have points that are evenly distributed around the cluster and that point in all different directions so that you get the maximum value from placing your necklaces or bracelets on top of the cluster. So it's really great for people who can't wear gemstones, like babies and young children, for instance, and those who either can't wear necklaces or they just don't want to, and that's perfectly fine. They can still benefit from the healing gemstone energies when they place the gems they want to receive the energies from on that quartz cluster. And then the gems just radiate their energies. So that you would then put the quartz cluster and your gemstones in a room where you spend a lot of time. That could be an office, could be the kitchen, could be your bedroom, could be your living room. So we do have both 4A and 3A clusters, and some are quite small and some are medium small. But go ahead and visit our homepage for the link. Next, I want to take a closer look at how and why polarity imbalances occur. Now, as you learned in the last video, part 1 of the series, every molecule, cell, and organ of the body, plus our physical, emotional, causal, or memory, and mental bodies all have a magnetic field. Therefore, each of these aspects of ourself also has a polarity. In other words, each of these parts of ourselves also has a north and a south, or a positive and negative pole. Well, let's first look at polarity in the physical and subtle bodies. Healthy polarity of the physical body corresponds to, let's say, north at the head and south at the feet. The emotional, memory, and mental bodies each correspond to a layer of the aura, and their healthy polarity matches the physical body's polarity. In other words, north is at the head and south is at the feet. So the emotional body would be, its magnetic field would have north at the head, south at the feet. The memory body, its polarity, north at the head, south at the feet. Mental body, polarity, north at the head, south at the feet. Polarity imbalances occur when any layer of the aura flips its polarity so that north is at the feet and south is at the head. Now, other polarity anomalies can occur too, like 90-degree shifts, or when north is shifted to one side in various ways, and there's other types of anomalies. But as far as the subtle bodies are concerned, just one of them shifting can be a big deal for someone. So let's say the emotional body's magnetic field presents south at the head and north at the feet, okay? But the physical, causal, and mental bodies all present north at the head, which is what you would expect. So all the bodies are north at the head, south at the feet, but the emotional body is flipped. South is at the head, north is at the feet. This person would most likely feel emotionally out of sorts, unable to reconcile their feelings with their thoughts, or unable to match their feelings with their actions. Inside the body, healthy organs and cells have their own idea of which way is north, and it isn't always toward the head. So for the skin, for example, the cells of the skin usually reveal a healthy polarity where north faces outward away from the skin and south faces inside the body. Well, this is normal and natural for healthy skin. But polarity imbalances in the skin occur when north faces inside the body It's opposite what it should be. Now, on the cellular level, I mean, you could have 1 to 100 skin cells that are upside down magnetically, and that probably won't produce symptoms. You have to have enough of them upside down, so to speak, before the skin starts to weaken, break down, and lose connection with its inherent blueprints of health. So, to summarize what we've learned so far, how do polarity imbalances occur? It's when the magnetic field turns upside down, or enough magnetic fields turn upside down to weaken the tissue and cause a breakdown in function, or a breakdown in the energies that support physical function. And why do polarity imbalances occur? Well, it can be due to any internal or external influence that causes the magnetic fields in the body to falter in their ability to maintain their optimal north and south orientations. As a result, they shift. Ultimately, I've discovered 4 energetic causes that underlie not only polarity, sorry, I'm sorry about that. Where was I? I've identified 4 energetic causes that underlie any and every condition in the body and every challenge a person may have, including polarity imbalances. They are deficiency, unwanted energy, weakness, and imbalance. These are the 4 underlying causes of all disharmony throughout a person's body and being. Now, diamond therapy offers an easy and reliable way to identify and correct polarity imbalances in the physical, emotional, memory, and mental bodies in both people and pets, as well as throughout the body in the cells, organs, molecules, etc. And this is taught in Level 2, Year 1 of diamond therapy studies. But if you don't want to wait that long and do the study that you have to do to get there, you can learn how to correct the 4 underlying energetic causes of unwellness: deficiency, unwanted energy, weakness, and imbalance. Actually, you can be proficient in correcting these in a matter of months when you enroll in our gemstone therapy level 1 studies. There is a link below this video, I believe, where you can learn more about our gemstone and diamond therapy courses. You can start the gemstone therapy or the diamond therapy at any time. You start gemstone therapy with Gem 101, and you can start diamond therapy with Diamond 102. So you can start anytime, whether you're interested in self-therapy or practitioner certification. Well, I hope this has been interesting and helpful to you. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you, Carol, for the kind comment. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that you love. And I hope to see you again on a video or in one of my courses. Okay, bye-bye for now.